Alright. Sure you want to get home. Yeah, I was still forward at it. That was that late. Yeah.
Have any idea what you want to talk about? Nah, just let me go over what you is your deal. Yeah, I just kind of go with whatever, honestly.
I'll go with whatever.
Rick's like, oh, I'm for sure gonna watch this. He said, you guys have been hunting for a year. You guys are gonna be having a podcast on how to hunt? I said, no, that's not really what it is.
Oh yeah, it's not like, it doesn't have to be a hunting podcast. It's just like
Just
whatever.
a talk. That's what I told Rick. I said,
Yeah.
we're just gonna talk.
I'm not gonna, you don't have to give tips. Like,
I'm not gonna.
yeah.
Because obviously, we didn't do that great this year.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. We didn't do.
But it was your
Yeah.
first year.
So I did great for my first year.
That's what I wanted to get out of it, was to get you one.
So you were successful in what you wanted to accomplish.
In that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And you got to see a lot of deer.
Yeah, I was more than successful in what I wanted to accomplish. Like, I just wanted to learn how to do it.
Yeah. And you did.
But hunting is one of those things where it's pretty much like endless possibilities,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like, I didn't think it was like that at first when you first started showing me stuff. I was like, oh, this is a little bit more difficult, but honestly it was like, oh, it's gonna be like, I'm gonna learn a few things and then it's gonna be easy.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, like, yeah. But we're also hunting with, like, my first couple times even seeing deer out was with my uncles, which have, you know, they gather these properties throughout their lives and they know where to go and where to sit, and they kind of like spoiled me a little bit. Then I started doing it by myself, which I should have just stopped. I mean, not should have, I'm glad I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But like, normal person would have been like, oh, I shot my deer early season, boom, I'm done.
Uh-huh.
But I kept going just because I was like,
You got the itch for it, and then you wanted to still be out there.
yeah.
It's more of like an adventure, I feel like.
Yeah.
Especially like what you said when you were hunting with Matt and Rick. They have their own places to go that they've hunted for years. So they know how to hunt it. It's private land, so they don't have to really share it with a whole lot of people. And then I got you into hunting public land, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
You share it with everybody from Ohio, and you can, even out-of-state people. So you have to find the little spots where the deer are and the people aren't.
Yeah.
And it's more of an adventure that way, because you have to find it. You have to walk through the woods to find it, and it's more addicting to me than just knowing where to sit that you've sat for 20 years and you can shoot a deer out of that stand no matter what.
Yeah.
Just, it's more of an adventure, and you get to walk through the woods to find it. It's fun.
Yeah, a kid that I had on a podcast, Nate, he was talking about, he's big into lifting, he's a bodybuilder. He was like, hard work. He was like, I don't understand why people don't want to work hard, because the things that you work hardest for are the most rewarding, and like, that is the most fulfillment you're going to get out of anything, is the more work you put into something.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's big. Like, you're saying that you could sit here and hunt a deer that you could do 1,000 times, you know, or you have done 1,000 times, but to go and do something different and to challenge yourself, that's, I don't know,
More
it's more,
rewarding.
yeah.
Fulfilling. Yeah, I agree. Well, that's like, I feel like I cheated this year because I went the last couple weeks of the season. I just said I'm just going to go home and shoot my deer because I knew I could.
Yeah, but that's
I knew where to
also,
sit. It's just,
that's also another aspect of it, though. It is also a survival type thing. Like, you did that for a particular reason, because you wanted to have that meat for the rest of the year.
yes.
Not necessarily that we're in a point in time where you actually need that meat, but for you needed that meat because you don't want to have to buy that amount.
Store-bought and all that, yeah.
Yeah. That's like a big reason I wanted to get into it. Just coming from like a photography background, I wanted to get out in nature more. That was like my main thing. But also, it's 10 times better for the environment, and it's 10 times better for your own health. That was my, like, those three things were my big, but it's turned into something like am pretty passionate about. Like, I enjoy it a lot.
Yes. I'm glad you got the itch.
Yeah.
It's fun. Because it's just like, yeah, well, you've seen kind of what Jordan and I have been doing with all the healthy eating and
Yeah.
even the water. Like, we have this filter that filters all the stuff in city water. But you shoot a deer, it's all, it's all organic.
Yeah.
I mean, they just eat grain and stuff in the woods that's not touched by people. So they're not getting all the chemicals like you are in your beef and
All the hormones
pork
and bad
hormones,
stuff.
steroids.
Yeah, that's the one thing that when people are so against it, I don't understand that unless they are like vegan or like, strict vegans. Like, they're not eating any meat.
Yeah.
I mean, even they could even be like pescatarian that only eat fish, but they have to be going out and catching their own fish to be at that point as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm trying to think I had a good point I was going to bring up about that too. I think a lot of people that don't understand hunting, like, they see a lot of what people put on TV, or like they put bad pictures up, bad video up of, like, they'll see the deer actually die or like blood and stuff like that, and people don't like to see that side of it.
Yeah.
But people don't always talk about this side of it, about just eating the meat. Like, it's not always about the trophy.
Yeah.
It's about what you get out of the animal and using most of the animal as much of it that you can.
Yeah, and that's another big point, is there are a ton of people, even like people that we know, even the older guys that we're family, friends, whatever with, a lot of them do just hunt for the trophy,
yeah.
And that's not all it's really about, Like, this year, we put in a lot of work, like, not just like, all right, so we had the whole summer to practice just archery. I mean, that's all the summer was.
Yep.
But you were also doing like pre-work that I didn't get to see, like, I didn't
You'll
see
get
firsthand
to it this year.
Yeah, doing all the cams and checking out trails and
Mm-hmm.
doing all the asking people for permission and everything like that. But then you have actual season comes and there's certain things that you got to do. You got to set your feeders out and you got to do this and that. But then even after you get a deer, and then we did all the processes after that as well.
Yeah.
And that's like so much more difficult, and people don't see like all that work that actually goes into it. They think guy just goes out there with a gun, he's drunk with his buddies, shoots a deer. And it's a lot more in depth.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately the guys that do it the wrong way give all the guys that do it the right way the bad name.
Yeah.
And it kind of ruins it for the majority of the good hunters.
Yeah, and that's when you take the license class or whatever. I don't know what it's called.
Hunter ed.
Yeah, hunter education. But I actually like paid attention during that, and I was like, oh, these are things you shouldn't do. You shouldn't put your deer on the hood of your truck or whatever and have it just out there, and don't ever offend. You don't want to offend somebody, because then that funding or that permission goes away.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something that really ruins it for people.
Yep, that's true. I see the other side of it though too. Like, I've done that before where I've had to put it on my car, but it's just because that's all I had at the time. I just had a 95 Buick Regal, and I didn't have any trunk space for it, so that's what happened with it. But I tried to do it at night when, people weren't around me that I was gonna offend.
Yeah.
And it was a short drive, so it didn't really bother people. But yeah, you gotta try to make sure that you're not doing it to where you're gonna make a worse name for hunters.
Yeah.
And that's what that hunter ed course is doing pretty well now. They didn't really do it when I took it, but that's a good thing that they're doing that. But yeah, hunting's a lot of work, and especially doing all the processing yourself, like it took us.
Yeah.
For, how many pounds? Maybe 50 pounds of meat. It took us 2 days to do it.
Well, yeah, not even that. We had to do all the cutting and skinning your deer and all that stuff.
Yep, I didn't even add in all that part of it. You're right.
Yeah.
But what goes into it, so it's better for your body, and
it's one of those things that really is way more, like, it's super rewarding. That's the best part. Like, all around, if you look at all the benefits, it's, I wish everybody did it.
Yeah.
But if everybody did it, it would be pretty hard on it.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I like my spots to stay less people, but there's a big push to get like a lot of the younger people out hunting because they're losing a lot of hunter numbers and everything. This year helped because people didn't have anything else to do other than go out in the woods and hunt.
Yeah.
So I know the deer numbers were up, the kill numbers were up a lot from like the last 8 years.
Yeah.
Which is good. It means people are going out, but like and the other thing was like it was rewarding. I took my brother out and he shot his first deer and I was with him and I got to see the excitement on his face. I took Jordan's other cousin out goose hunting for the first time. And I got to see the look on his face. I'm a little jealous of Matt for getting to see when you shot your first deer this year.
Yeah.
I was a little jealous that I didn't.
I haven't even seen it on video.
Yeah.
But yeah, now you're at like the teacher standpoint, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm just starting, but you're like a mentor. You're not a master.
No,
you're
I'm
a
not
mentor.
by any means.
You're like in the middle there.
I'm still figuring it out too.
Yeah.
I mean, like I had my dad for the longest time teaching me how to do things. Then we got this private land that we hunt at home, and we've hunted it for 15 years now, and I mean, I know what to do, but this public stuff here, since we don't have much permission, it's a completely different ball game, and I feel like I'm starting over.
That's the one thing is I've always tried to find things that were open to progression, like things that were you could go this way or this way or this. Like I like things that have a lot of opportunities, so you're not stuck in like one. Like here's what you have to do, and it's just that. And hunting really is like there's so many types of hunting, and there's so many aspects of it. Like you can change one thing and that's gonna completely change everything you do.
Yep.
Like this year I think you've done so much of that while teaching me, while trying to accomplish what you want to accomplish, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, some of those things were just like hunting public and changing your tree stand.
Yep.
Tree saddle.
Yep. Hunting out of the tree saddle was fun.
Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know if this is true, but you did more on the ground hunting as well.
Yep. I never hunted on the ground until, well, I have. When I was younger, couldn't get in a tree stand. And then this year we hunted out of that one, behind that one little tree. And then we jumped in the cornfield and had deer, I mean, this far from us.
Yeah, it was like 5, maybe, like.
I could have touched him with my arrow.
Yeah.
That close.
Like, yeah, that was actually crazy. That's something that really got me like pumped, you know. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe we're this close to any animal, like
to a live animal that we could take if we wanted to. Like I don't know. It's that part about it is fun.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even want to take, like, there was a day I climbed up a tree. I was out there by myself, and I was like, man, I would be okay with just, I'd put my bow away, and I was like, I'm just fine sitting here watching what's going on, because, like, you know, I see, like, little mice running, and the one time there was a fox that came right on the other side of the tree as me. You know, the tree's not huge. Like, there's no tree that's huge enough for the fox to be that far away, probably like a foot, and he came right next. I could have grabbed him.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Like, some of those things just get you.
Yep. And then I wish, like, I was more big into photography like you are. Like, I feel like this year we should try to incorporate that a little bit because it would be fun to do. It just, and it adds a whole other level of difficulty to it. But you get to, like, capture all that stuff. Yeah. And you get to see it later. And then you get to show other people and hopefully introduce other people into it. It
shows you your mistakes and it shows you what you did well. It's unbelievable, like, what you can do now with it, you know? Yeah. I feel like it'll make a comeback for sure. Like, I feel like if hunting was dying, it can make a comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And it's like you said, you could do anything with it. Like, I started out hunting with the gun. I killed my first deer with a long rifle in Virginia or West Virginia somewhere. Progressed to a shotgun and then to a bow.
Yeah. There's people that do it with pistols. There's people that do it, like, there's gun hunting. That's like a whole different ball game
Yep.
than archery, like bow hunting. And then there's longbow. There's I don't know. There's so much stuff. Like you know way more than I do, but
Yeah, I got a buddy that lives in Ashland. He makes his own his arrows and he makes his own broadheads and he shoots deer with them.
yeah,
I mean, it's endless. And then you got all the animals that you can go and do that with. So I mean, it's crazy.
well yeah, you take it. I mean, I've only hunted deer for the most. I mean, I fish. That's another thing. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like fishing and hunting are the same. One, like you're hunting fish
Yeah.
with a different. I mean, you can.
Shoot them with a bow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some fish.
Yeah. Like, there's so many aspects to that, but fishing is cool. But
Yeah.
there's also like the species. Like, there's bird hunting. You know, you're really big into that.
Mm.
I don't know. You got anything to say about bird hunting?
I don't know. Like my favorite is waterfowl hunting. Even more than deer hunting. I love deer hunting, but waterfowl, you get to be out there with your buddies. You don't have to be quiet. I mean, you could literally take breakfast and cook it in the blind with you while you're waiting for the birds to come in.
Yeah.
Ohio's not the best state for duck hunting or goose hunting because we just don't get the numbers like you do in like the Dakotas or other flyways. That's what they're called. But I mean, it's just another time just to be outside.
Yeah. I mean,
Like I hunt with my grandpa a bunch. We go up to Lake Erie and we saw, I mean, thousands of swans flying 2 feet from the top of our heads, leaving the lake. It was like, it's neat just to be out there and just to do that.
yeah.
So really, and then you got pheasants, quail. You got all kinds of other things you can go
Yeah,
do.
you got turkey.
Turkeys.
It's just insane, but you even take it, like I've been watching Meat Eater with, what's his name?
Stephen Ranella.
Yeah, Steven Ranella. And he goes to all these like places and hunts things that you wouldn't even like you don't even know about. Like there's things in like Texas and this little strip of Texas, or he's up in Alaska hunting these sheep and all these different things, and you're like, man, like I want to do that. I want to do this, and then that's taking you different places as well.
Yep.
With a purpose, you know. So then you get to see different things, but
Yeah. Like out west would be a dream because I mean they have everything you think of,
yeah,
and then you get to go chase elk, which is
yeah.
one of my dreams to get is a nice bull elk.
Why is that everybody's dream? Just the challenge?
It's
or?
a challenge, and it's a great adventure because I mean you got to go out there and you got to hunt in the big mountains and
For days.
yeah, I mean people go out there for weeks and they just have their camp on their back and they go out there with a couple buddies. You have no cell service, so you're cut off completely from the world. So
Yeah.
it's a break from society, and then you get to figure out what you're really made of because it's hard to do.
Yeah, do you think, obviously it has, but what do you think the reason for the COVID-19, everybody wanting to be more outside? Like what, because, you know, we have this thing and they're like, you're locked down, but still everybody wants to be outside even if they're in their house. Like, even if they're said that they need to be at home instead of out shopping and this, and then everybody's going out, like, why was that?
And I think part of it had to do just because everything was closed down.
And they needed something to do.
You couldn't go work out for a while. You couldn't go eat at a restaurant. You had to carry out for everything. And so, like, I know it was horrible for us to try to find a bike this year.
Yeah.
Kayaks were the same ways. Like, so you had nothing else to do. So to go out, be outside where you didn't have to wear a mask at the time, and, you know, you didn't have the chance of getting the virus from somebody that, you know, touching the same thing or breathing the same air because it's all outside. So
Yeah, you were
I think that's part of the reason.
easily to be spaced out, you know,
Yeah.
and it wasn't closed down. We were shut down for, I don't know, what, a few months?
A few months.
Yeah, and then we kind of came back with masks, but
Yeah.
it's definitely, I think more people will have seen that they need to enjoy life a little more.
Yep.
Like, enjoy the outdoors, enjoy their families, enjoy doing whatever it is. But
Yeah.
I think hunting and fishing and any outdoor stuff like really brings you together with your family too, because you know you're not in this technology society, like all the social media, all the phone, like you're not constantly doing something, you're drawn back.
Yeah. Yep. I think phones and all of that stuff is. I mean, I dislike it. I use it.
Yeah.
But like, if I could turn it off and go back to the old school flip phone or the Razor,
Yeah.
I would do that.
It's almost necessary to have a phone.
It is.
At all. Like even just a call. Like call and text, that's necessary. Like I don't know really anybody that doesn't. I mean maybe the Amish, but some of them even cheat too.
Yeah.
Like they have businesses, and if you have any kind of business, it's almost essential to have an online page, or
Yep, that's true.
or you're losing out on a lot.
I will say though that I use my phone a lot for that OnX, that app that we use for hunting.
Yeah, imagine
I've been
having
on it about every single day since hunting season ended.
Imagine having to go like real old school and having to use
Get maps
a map
out. I would be lost. I can't read a map.
and you gotta have your compass out, and you really that would be difficult.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that'd be difficult, but any challenges you have for the future, like this year, or even like I don't know, years down the road for yourself?
Well, short term, like this next year, I mean, I want to get a deer on public land next year, whether that's doe, buck, whatever, doesn't matter to me. I want to do that. That's my number one goal for next year. That's the one I want to tackle. And I want to do it with somebody, and I want to get it on film.
Yeah.
That's something I want to do.
If all that works out, I mean, it can if every time you make sure you have the setup to be able to do that.
Yeah. And my goal next year is to try to do it early, because family. I mean, like I've got a 2-year-old, so it's hard to space my time from them.
Yeah.
To go hunting, so I want to get it done early, just because of that. But then I also want to, in my more longer term goal, maybe in a couple of years, is to go out west and get that trip under my belt.
I don't really know how expensive or how that stuff even works. I mean, I know you said there's like a drawing to be.
Some of them. You can get over the counter tags in Colorado, which you just go and you buy a tag.
Yeah.
And you can hunt specific zones they give you. So you could do that. And I think like a non-resident tag and license and everything would be about $700, or maybe just the elk tag is $700.
Yeah. So it starts to get pricey when you're out of. That's I have a buddy in West Virginia, and he was telling me for a resident in West Virginia to hunt bear is only $10 if you already have your license, but for somebody out it's like 160 plus your license plus everything else you need.
Yep.
Which that's insane. $10 you can't, like our deer isn't even $10.
It jumped up to 30 this year. Yeah, it gets very pricey. All this outdoor stuff I think does.
Yeah.
But you got to think, where's all your money going? All that money's going right back into basically the habitat and the animals, because you're giving it to the conservationists that are, helping the habitat and things like that. And I guess that's another thing that people don't understand about hunters is they can say, well, we don't like animals, we're just out there killing them. But all the money that we're paying towards this is all going back to the animals, basically.
Yeah.
Because they're buying properties and they're making it better for the animals to thrive, basically.
Yeah, there's not really any. The money, there's not really anything that it would go into, besides like your little piece of paper. I mean, they don't even. You can do it all online.
Yep.
It's all like green now or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's really no jobs. I mean, there might be like some administration, like they have to set up the page and stuff. But other than a few hundred people, that money's not going to anything else.
Yeah, you got the wildlife officers that are out there too. So you got them, and the guys that are.
Actually, I think it said in one of their magazines where all the money. I think it was in that one. It says where all the money is distributed.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good reads to figure out where it's all going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, your duck license, your stamps, they're all going to conservation too. So hunters are the leading contributors to it.
Yeah.
So that's always a good argument. I mean, to have on your side if you ever have to talk to other anti-hunters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I been on that app, so I've got a whole bunch of places. Bought my hiking boots today, so we're gonna put a lot of miles on them for public land. Try to find some places for next year.
Yeah, that's one thing. I started working out and getting into the gym, started running and stuff, and it just felt good all around. Like I've been eating healthy too, and that's probably one of the main reasons I wanted to get in shape is because I was out in the woods, man. I was feeling it. Like, you're walking. You had me up at 4 a.m. We're canoeing for a couple miles upstream.
Yep.
Probably, I don't even know if it was a couple miles, but it felt like it.
It felt like it. Probably wasn't even half a mile.
Yeah, and then we're walking in, and I'm like, man. Then I had to get up to the tree, and I get up to the tree, and I'm finally like, dang.
You're sweating.
Yeah, and it's just like, I really need to get in shape, and it's probably going to be a really good turnout for me, like in that aspect, just getting prepared for that.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to go in more directions. Like I'm planning on running a 5K in April, on April 3rd. So.
Oh, I thought you ran that today.
Oh no, I just ran on
the. Like, man.
I ran a 5K on a treadmill today.
Oh.
So it's,
It's sort of the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go out in the cold and run that.
Well,
they have some early, like February, March.
A little cold for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I told you about that last year. I ran for a month or so, and felt like I was in pretty good shape, and then I went downhill again, just lost it. But yeah, and I mean, we didn't even really hunt the hills.
Yeah.
People call them mountains, but they're just hills in southern Ohio where you got it. We walked up one, but that was like a small one.
Yeah.
Where we turkey hunt, I mean, it's, from what I remember, I mean, it takes an hour to climb up the hill just because of how steep it is, and it wears you out quick.
Yeah, that's another thing is I really want to get into like dropping weight, like with the saddle. That would be. I mean, I gotta test it out first to see if I even enjoy it, but everything matters. When you start to walk, and like the one day I walked like I think 4 miles into the woods, like with all the stuff on, and I'm like that's when it starts to get, you want to drop your pounds.
Yeah. You notice real quick what you need to get rid of.
And then you get so far and you're like, dang, I gotta walk out, and then you start to think like, if I shoot a deer, man, I gotta drag that out of here, and how am I gonna do that? Like, I'm calling somebody for sure.
Yep.
And if nobody shows up, I guess it's just me.
It's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
Which that's the beauty about that saddle, is because, I mean, you can do anything with it. I mean, you saw me. I just strapped it on and walked to the tree with my bow, my backpack.
Yeah.
It was pretty light. But you can even just sit on the ground with it, I mean, and still have it on. It's not getting in your way. And then we did a lot out of the kayaks this year, and it's just one less thing you have to shove in those small kayaks to try to get back there, because we lost your bag. Well, didn't lose it, we caught it, but everything got soaking wet.
Yeah.
Because it fell off because we had too many things on it. So it's just nice in that aspect too. Then you can cut half the other half the hunters that don't cross that river, cross that lake to get to that spot.
Yeah, and you're getting there quicker, you're not lugging that, and you're quieter. I mean, I saw one, I forget what website it was from. I think I was reading like reviews on which ones, and they have this one where there's no metal, and it's all just ropes and stuff. I mean, it's a saddle, but it's all just ropes and stuff, and I was like, man, that would be pretty sweet. Like, you're not having any noise going around with that. Like, it's very minimal.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't really think about that with mine. I mean, most of the metal is just in those carabiners and those things.
Which is already 10 times quieter than
your tree stand.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah, and I shot that deer out of the saddle this year, and I thought it would be weird to shoot out of it, because you got this bridge in front of you, and you think, well, how are you supposed to draw your bow back and be able to maneuver around and shoot a deer out of that?
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be horrible, but I just practiced out of it a couple times and figured it out pretty quick, and I shot that deer this year out of it.
Yeah.
and it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I can move all the way around the tree. You're not like constricted to the square tree stand that you're strapped in. You can walk all the way around it. You have every shot angle covered.
Yeah, you got more mobility, more, I guess, what is that? Your sight? I don't know.
Your range,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, and you got somewhere to hide. You know, I've had a problem with that a couple times where a deer's coming up and it just points me out.
Yep.
And I'm just like, just trying to stay as still as possible, but maybe if I had somewhere to go, you know, they wouldn't be able to see me as easily, and they wouldn't be as worried.
Yeah. It'd be harder to catch you and pick you off. A lot of times the deer will skyline you if
Yeah.
you're like out away from the tree and they look up and see a human figure. Well, they don't like that.
Yeah.
But with that saddle, you can hide behind the tree. You know where they're coming from. You can just hide. And that's pretty nice, especially if you're not going to take the deer. You know, you're just going to want them to walk by. They don't want to ruin your hunt, so
Yeah.
hide from them. And it's comfortable. I mean, those things, it's like sitting in a recliner.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah, I gotta test it out. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
But,
You always got one.
yeah.
Because you'll be out more this year, I'm sure, than I will be.
Yeah. I know, do you think you could, this is kind of just a question that came to me earlier a little bit, but then I remembered it again. But do you think you would be able to, with hunting and fishing, you'd be able to fill your freezer the entire year?
Yeah.
Like, pretty easily?
Mm-hmm.
What would you have to do in order to do that? Like, would it be difficult, or would it just...
It depends on how much time you have, I think. And
So, you could eliminate having to go to the store at all?
yeah, I think you could.
Yeah.
If you have the time to do it,
Yeah.
for sure.
You think it would
There's-
be cost efficient, like, depending on what you're going
I think
for?
so. If you do all the processing, butchering, and everything yourself, then I do think so.
Yeah.
But if you have to pay somebody every time you shoot a deer, even just to skin it, you have to pay them like $100 just
Yeah.
for that. I mean, people do it cheaper, but that's what our butcher does it for. So, I mean, I think it would be very cost effective. I mean, that's why I got all the equipment to do it.
Yeah.
Because just this year, last year, and then the pigs that we get, I mean, I've already bought my equipment already, so
Yeah.
like it worked out for us. And I
Yeah.
mean, there was a year that I shot 5 deer, I think. I limited out my tags, whatever you could get that year.
Yeah.
And my dad said I had to quit because we had to give the last deer to they do a Hunters for the Hungry. And so you take your deer to a butcher shop and they process it and everything and give it to this program to give it to people that are in need.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good way to get hunters into the community, you know?
Yeah.
Give them a good rep.
Yep,
Definitely.
absolutely. And I don't know if that many people know about it, about giving their meat away like that.
I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do it just because they want to eat it too, so unless you have an abundance of deer on your property that you need to slowly take out, then it's the only
Yeah.
reason you have to get rid of them. Or if you don't have a big family, or you hunt out of state and don't really have a family like the hunting public guys. I don't know if you ever watched them, but when they get one, they give it up to that program most of the time
Yeah.
after they get what they want out of their first few deer. So I mean, there's lots of things you can do, and I mean, you can definitely fill your freezer and you can live off everything that you've caught or gathered or whatever.
Yeah. It's a good skill to have, you know, if everything were to, I don't know, go south in, the society that we're living in.
Yep.
You know, we've seen a little bit go south this year. I mean, imagine somebody not being able to afford their rent, you know, how are they affording food? They can
Yep.
go out and they have it already, or they can go out and have the skill set in order to get
Yep.
what they need.
Well, I think there was a time when it was hard to find meat on the shelves at the store because people were buying it all.
Yeah.
So I mean, hunters never batted an eye because they had their freezers full.
Yeah.
And so I mean, that's to the point where I'd like to get to,
Yeah.
is to where I am able to take enough deer, whatever else, pigs,
You
ducks,
garden
geese,
a little bit. You got your
Got-
seasonings and
Yep.
your fruits, your
Got your
vegetables.
chickens, too.
Yeah, definitely chickens. Those are, you got their eggs for however long, and then
Yep.
you got chicken.
Yep. You could do the aquaponics thing you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
There's your
definitely
fish.
that's a process too, though. That's a little bit more difficult than raising chickens. Like chickens, pretty
Yeah.
easily. I mean, anybody can do that, I think, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively,
Yeah.
but most people can do it.
Yeah.
It's not anything difficult.
I was actually talking to a guy that I was working with the other day, and he's talked about aquaponics. And he said the guy raises bluegill, and I don't know how many he buys, but he fills this tank up. He knows exactly how many fish can thrive in that tank. But this guy would pay the kid to go down the river and catch him catfish, and he would put them in the bottom of his tank so that if anything died, the catfish would eat it. They would keep the cage clean.
Yeah.
But he would get, I'm gonna say 50 bluegill, and he'd raise them up till they were eating size, and then he would take them all out, and then he would buy 50 more and do that. He didn't get the eggs and have them spawn or do anything like that to make more.
See, but did he do the part where you make the plants grow
Yes.
from that too? Yeah, see, that's right there. I mean, if he takes it one step further and, has them spawn eggs and reproduce, he's got the whole system.
Yeah. Yep. And I feel like it would be tough to get to that point to where they would spawn and everything.
See, you can do that in a natural system, like you have a pond,
Like
a
a
natural
pond,
pond, and you could probably garden in that pond,
Yeah.
whether you want to or not. I mean, you don't know how fresh the water is. You can test
Yeah.
it and stuff, but pond water, it really isn't going to be that bad for you,
Yeah.
Like most ponds are either spring fed or they're just natural,
Yeah. Yeah. I need to look more into aquaponics. I think it's neat, but I don't know much
Yeah.
about it. But
I feel like it would be also pretty difficult unless you got the space, just to get started. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing with everything. I've realized hunting is just another one of those hobbies that costs a lot of money.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, either you need a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge on how to build your own or whatever, or you need a lot of money to start.
And that's one thing too. You really don't need that much money to get into hunting.
Yeah.
Like that bow, it was $75 off of eBay,
Yeah.
and you can buy arrows pretty cheap. Everything you can get pretty cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
Even the hunting clothes.
But it can get
yeah.
expensive, especially if you don't have anybody to help you and you don't know what you're doing. It can get real expensive.
Yeah. Then you can bind all the gimmicks and things that people are selling for a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, you go to the store and you're like, I need a bow. They're gonna be like, oh, we got you.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be like, well, you need this, and you're gonna need this setup, and
Yep.
somebody that knows what they're doing is gonna be like, no, I don't need that. No, no thanks, man.
Yep.
But somebody that doesn't, they're just falling right into that.
Mhm. Yeah. So you can do it. You can do it pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So I think that's another barrier, but yeah, I kind of taught you a little bit wrong with that.
Yeah.
Thinking you needed all the money to do it, but you don't. I mean, even the 12 arrows that I bought for us this year, I mean, I think they were $80, and that's more expensive than even a lot of the other ones are.
Yeah.
But I want to do the whole process of, shooting them bare shaft and everything, and then getting all the way down to where the arrow shoots completely perfect out of your bow before you even have to move your rest and everything.
Yeah, that's even something that you started new this year too, I think.
That was new for me.
You were throwing all these other things in with me, and I'm trying to keep up with, and I'm like, I don't know what we're doing, man.
Yeah, it was new for me too, but it worked out. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you had a complete pass through on your shot.
Yeah.
Mine was complete pass through, and I had to get on my hands and knees to pull it out of the ground because it was stuck in the other side so far. So I mean, it worked out. I've had pass throughs like that, but not to that extent.
Yeah. What's the end goal for you in you said you wanted to get into a point where you could have all your stuff, but what would be the end goal in that aspect?
What do you mean, like
to have
gear
all that
or
stuff, or I meant the sustainability, I guess, aspect of that. What, I mean, I don't know.
What's my end goal?
Yeah, with that, I guess.
I don't want to ever have to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
If I don't have to.
Yeah.
I want to, have a big garden, and I even want to have, living in Ohio, I want to have something inside where I can still grow that stuff all year. Or
Yeah.
I know there's ways you can do it where you can keep it outside, but I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the end goal. Is I want to be able to not have to go to the store if I don't have to.
Yeah.
Be able to grow as much of it as I can, and you can can it. You can.
Without being a farmer.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I want to buy property that I can do it from.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could be a farmer, but small scale.
Farm for yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could do it. You could easily do it.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents have just a little tiny garden, and they end up giving stuff away because they have so much of it at the end.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely possible. And then I'd like to have cows, pigs, those, like just a small farm.
Yeah. That'd be.
A couple animals each. The problem's going to be being able to get food for all of them. But, it's all process.
Yeah. I guess that's a lot of like knowledge. I mean, I'm always trying to, yeah, I think I said that, but I'm always trying to learn something new.
Yep.
And try something new. Like, just like, I want to, with running the marathons, I mean, I'm not running a marathon, I'm running a 5K, a race, but that's a start. But that's just something else. I was like, I want to see where this goes. Like, I'm trying like last year, that was me hunting for the first time, and it's just good to get a good sense of everything,
Yeah.
Try different things.
Yep.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I think doing the whole backcountry thing would be so fun. I mean, if you were allowed to do it in some of the places in Ohio where you could just take a backpack and you could go and hunt, then you could take camp off your back and raise a tent in the woods and sleep,
Yeah.
and then wake up the next morning and do the same thing. Or the trail, Appalachian Trail, like you were talking about doing. I think that would be so much fun.
Yeah, I guess I have a lot of those kind of goals, and I think they're pretty obtainable, like, for me. Like, some people, it really isn't obtainable. Like, they have too much already in their world, but, or they don't have the mental, I don't know.
Mental strength?
Yeah, like, just to put yourself in a new situation, that's like something I've always been good at, is making myself uncomfortable. I kind of had a life where I had to be uncomfortable, and then now I'm at a point where I'm comfortable, but I like to put myself in these uncomfortable situations. Like, just starting this podcast, like, I don't, I have no idea what I'm doing really, but I feel like I've been doing better and better, but
yeah,
I guess we'll see.
It's working out for you though.
I guess.
You're getting a lot of people to come out and do it with you.
Yeah, and I get enjoyment just talking to people and pondering ideas and
learning new things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What other goals do you have? What short-term hunting goals do you have for next year?
Short-term hunting goals. Well, I definitely want a bigger buck than this year. I mean, that's for sure one of mine. Another goal is I want to learn how to gun hunt. I want to learn how to bird hunt. This is kind of like a fishing goal, but I want to do more fishing, but I also want to do the magnet fishing. I think that would be pretty cool. I mean, that's not really like animal related, but magnet fishing, it's like you throw a big magnet with a weight and it has a rope, you pull it and see if you get something off the bottom. Those are always cool, because like people find like all kinds of things, cars and phones and jewelry, everything you might lose in the water, basically.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that would be fun to do. Yeah, we talked about that one time, doing that. I don't know where you do it at though. I mean,
I think like lake or river, or people will go down the Tusk. Yeah,
where people are dropping stuff off their canoes.
Yeah,
that'd be a good place to do it.
Yeah, anywhere. I mean, people find like stuff from wars and like real old stuff. Like, you have no idea what this area was like 50, 100 years ago. Like,
well, that's when we were talking about that, where we hunt private. You were saying that there's a bunch of like arrowheads and stuff in the place that we hunt.
Yeah, that's what I heard from a couple guys that grew up in the area, and they've known that place, and they said people used to go there all the time and find arrowheads and stuff.
Yeah, I think that would be fun just to go look.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else there could be there. If there were Indians there could be some other stuff there.
Yeah, they could be You can find anything.
Yeah. And just, I don't know.
I think another thing is I want to put more videos. Like I'm doing once a month. Well, with the podcast, okay, I want to do once a week I have a podcast. But one of those 4, every month has like 4 weeks, roughly, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of those weeks I'm going to do a food review with, I don't know, some people, whatever. So I want that, but then I think I also want to do like more adventure stuff. I mean, last year was just like weird year. I was like doing all this new stuff, and I was like, here's what I wanted to do is put more videos of like adventures and stuff like that. Now I think I have a few things that I can actually do that would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And like, I would like to do a lot more of the photography stuff too.
Yeah.
I think that would be neat. Like I've tried to get into it with doing like waterfowl photography, and I'm learning a little bit more with the camera this year. Like I've figured out more of, doing all the settings and everything on the ISO, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I started to figure that out a little bit more this year, but I feel like that'd be another thing that we could.
Yeah, we'd
try to
definitely
master.
team up on some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun.
You're teaching me just as much as I'm probably teaching you.
Yep. Absolutely. I don't like electronics, and you're a little bit more better at it than I am.
Yeah. I don't know. And also, you're not from this area. You moved up, like, what, a year ago?
Just
about a year ago. And I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of places from around here, so that also gives us, like, gives you an advantage as well.
Yeah.
And you have somebody here that and you can do stuff with, I guess.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd like to get to the point where by the time my son's of age to carry a gun or a bow, that I've already got this stuff already figured out.
Yeah.
And if we don't have any private land to hunt, I figured out how to do it on public land, and I know how to do it with a camera. And I can get all those stories captured, and then if I wanted to ever share them, I could share them.
Yeah. So is that more what it's for with the camera stuff, or is it a little bit of everything?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Like I wanna be able to like put it on TV and just watch it again.
Yeah.
Like, cause there's gonna be something in every hunt that's gonna be, oh, do you remember this?
It's gonna get you excited and whatever.
And then you can play it back and see it.
Yeah.
Instead of watching everybody else's YouTube videos, you could throw your own up there and see. So, I mean, that's more of it for me, is capturing all the experiences and everything.
Yeah.
And getting to see the look on people's faces. Like, I think that's the best part.
Yeah. I think I definitely want to go camping this year. That's another thing. I mean, get out there.
Yep.
That's just, I don't know how else to explain that. That's pretty much, I just want to go camping.
Just be outside.
Yeah, I definitely want to make my own coffee too. Like, I want to learn how to like do like French press and pour overs, but I want to be able to be out in the woods. I'm not like, oh, I want coffee, but I can't because I need a coffee maker. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be able to just heat it up on a little fire and
Yeah.
make my own stuff.
I have a I think it's like a 12 cup or something percolator. You know what that is? It just boils water and it comes up through and it makes your coffee.
I've seen one before. I don't know anything about it. This is something I need to get into.
I've got a bunch of little like camping coffee maker things that you can just go get water, put it on a fire, it'll heat up, and then you can pour it over your coffee and make it.
Yeah.
They're very, very nice to have, and it's fun. Like I like being able to have a camper that you can pull behind your truck and you can take your family in.
You like the glamping?
No, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I do it because I have a family. But I would love to do, like I said, the backpacking stuff where you just have the simple things. You have a tent, you have your coffee if you want coffee, and then you got to figure out how to do it, how to make it.
Yeah.
And then you got your your pots and pans and things you got to cook on, or not even that. Get a stone and cook it over a fire. I just think that part of camping would be more enjoyable for me than the glamping.
Yeah, that's really one thing I think in my life. I've kind of chosen to go down like a different path than everybody, and sometimes it seems to feel like I'm not really, like, I'm doing a lot of stuff, but it doesn't really, it would be easier if I was going down this path and I knew that's what I was doing, but I like learning stuff from every aspect, and I know that someday it's all gonna like come together and form to what I want it to be.
Yeah.
But as of now, it's just like, oh, why are you doing a podcast? Or, oh, why are you learning how to hunt? Or why are you running a 5K every day? Or, you know,
Yeah.
like, what's the point in that? And it's like, oh, it's just wait, it's gonna come together.
Yeah, eventually. Like, they all will.
Eventually.
Yeah, you got skills from here, and they could end up, like, helping each other out in the long term,
and they
too.
do. I mean,
So,
it seems that they do.
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, know a little bit about a lot of things, or a lot about one thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of those that you can end up doing a whole lot with all the things you're doing. You did all the woodworking things. You're doing, like all this stuff.
Yeah. I'm trying
Hunting,
to
fishing.
get a little bit of everything.
That's good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess going back to like some of my goals, this is kind of like a far down the road. I don't really know anything about running, really. I just run.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to somebody that has run races and stuff like that. They're trying to tell me like, oh, like here's a good time for you, and here's what you need to do, and here's where you need to start and stuff. And I'm like, I want to qualify for the Boston Marathon. Like, that's one of my things.
Man.
And I'm like, maybe I can. I don't know how long that's going to take me, but that's, throw it down there. Another goal.
Yeah.
I mean, my times are a little off, and I don't know if I would be able to go 26, like the full marathon, but
That would be hard.
yeah. Like, I'm running 5K, which is 3 miles. 26, whole different ball game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I think I can work my way up there. I don't know
You
how
could.
long that is going to take. Probably, I know people train for it for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And then you see them crossing the finish line at the end, and their legs are jelly. And
Yeah.
I can't even run a mile in 10 minutes, so I couldn't imagine running 26.
Yeah. I mean, I've been going a month now, and I got my time down to, I think I PR'd the other day, and I got down to 7:30, that was great for me. Like,
Yeah.
I dropped a whole, I would say like a minute and a half. I dropped from the first time I hopped on the treadmill to now,
Yeah.
a minute and a half. But I also didn't know how to pace myself, and now I'm like, oh, I get this. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to go balls to the wall and
The
then
first 100 yards. Yeah.
and then,
Yeah. That was my issue too. I did the same thing.
yeah, because in high school I was a sprinter, and
That's what you knew how to do.
yeah, I'm like 200.
Yep.
I'm going as fast as I can, and after that it's like,
Yep.
your chest is hurting and your
Yeah.
legs are sore already, and you're like, dang.
Then it takes the mile runners to run a mile in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw a 5K time for this race. That's my goal, is to be in the top right now. The top is like a 6.9. In previous years, their pace is at like 6 minutes and 50 seconds or something like that. And they won this race, and I was like, I could probably be up there. Like, that's only 30 seconds better than mine.
Yeah.
I could do that. I could drop like 30 seconds in 2 months. Maybe. I'd have to push myself. But
Yeah.
I'm also not used to running on, like, I've been just running on treadmill. I don't know how to pace myself without it right there, that's another.
Yeah, that's true. And the other part would probably be eating. Like you said, you wanted to drop weight,
Yeah,
and that could help too.
a few pounds. And I want to eat. I mean, I've just been trying to eat healthier, but I haven't been on anything strict or any, just
Yeah.
not going out as much, really.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll do it. That's my issue, is the food.
Yeah.
I
love food, man.
Yep.
That's one thing that's good about hunting too, is that deer is lean. You know, that's good stuff. You're putting great stuff into your body.
Yeah. Very, very true. And I mean, before you mix it with all the fat that we got for that.
Them tenderloins are real good, but then once you start getting the good stuff, like I mean, tenderloins are great, but once those are gone, you know, you're putting 10 pounds of pork fat in you.
And your brats.
Yeah.
That's true. But those are good.
Yeah. Man.
I'm taking it back with me. I'll get you your hot dogs at some point.
Yeah, those are good, and they're even better, you know, that we were just making them ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Did your family like them? Like, or King's family?
Yeah. Yeah.
Were they too spicy?
I think cooking them made them less spicy, but it still was good.
Yeah.
Like, it took away some of the jalapenos that was in it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because it was burning my mouth a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, they were good though. Man.
I'll have to try some. I guess the other fun thing about it too is you get to change up your recipes. You can do so much with it.
Yeah, have to get like a group of us on here for a food review. We can do it like next hunting season, before hunting season. Have like different kind of hunting foods and stuff. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Since I have my food review now.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
Or we can do it throughout the summer. Have a little fish fry and whatever.
Yep. We'll go out and catch some crappie.
We can have some fish and some deer brats and hot dogs or whatever.
Let's have a cookout.
Yeah. Right here. No.
Fun. Let's do it. That would be fun.
No.
But you said the other thing with hunting is you can meet a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
And you said recently you met a couple other friends more your age.
we met the one kid, Garrett, and he's friends with a friend of mine, and they're starting a hunting YouTube, I think, or a hunting page or something like that. I don't know if they have yet or whatever, but that'd be interesting. I mean, I'm gonna get them on at some point.
Yeah, that would, because you can do. I mean, the hunting community is, I mean, pretty nice. I mean, like we met Garrett, we met those duck hunters that were out there the one time.
Yeah, I met some people while I was out there.
You met some people. I mean, most of them are very, very nice guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have numbers in my phone that, you know, I don't remember their names, but but they're in there. If I go across them, I'll remember them.
Yeah,
and everybody's so willing to help you, and then, you know, you could end up having a buddy for life just by talking to people.
And that's all you know about, you know.
Yep.
You met him out in the woods.
Met him out
It's
in the
better
woods.
than a serial killer, I guess. You know?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. I mean, you could meet people at a bar, but, you know, they may not have the same interest as you, but you meet somebody doing something that you're doing, you could end up having that friend for life. Like,
that's true. Another thing is, I don't know if you know, but he's like a second cousin of mine. He raises hunting dogs. He gets them mastered and sells them throughout the United States.
wow.
But that's another aspect I didn't even think about, of like, this is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Like raising dogs, hunting with dogs.
Yeah.
That's
Me
best friend right there.
Yeah. Me and my buddy from home, we have thought about doing the same thing. Like, I've got my chocolate lab, and he's got a black lab. Eventually, whenever the time's right, we're gonna have them get together and hopefully we'll have puppies. Our end goal was to end up having a big kennel, where we would also train and train hunt dogs so that we could sell them.
Yeah.
And we could train other people's dogs and, you know, make money doing what we love to do. Training a dog is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll have to give you his information, but he's pretty local. I mean, he's right down the street.
Yeah.
But he has a big old building, and he has a Facebook page, and yeah, he masters them. So those dogs sell for a lot, though. Like,
Yeah.
he's licensed to be able to train certain dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And do you probably take them to like what are they called?
Like dog shows, or
It's not a dog show. It's a hunt. I don't remember what it is, but anyway, it's like a skills thing
Yeah.
where they show off, see if the dog can do if they can master certain things.
Yeah.
Like you have all those hand directions with waterfowl dogs, and even with like pointing dogs.
Yeah, I think he does have to take them there in
Yeah.
order to get them mastered on certain things.
Oh, so he actually does that and then sells
Yeah.
them. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So he gets the papers and stuff behind him, so that, you know. And then sometimes I think he holds them too, and breeds them. So then the dogs are from a master.
Championship bloodline.
Yeah. That's
That's what we ended up wanting to do. We want to
Yeah.
champion a dog and then breed him and then sell the puppies.
Yeah.
And then if there were people that wanted us to train the puppies, we would keep them and train them and then sell them as a finished dog.
Yeah.
Which you can make a whole bunch of money out of it, but
Yeah.
as long as you're good at it, you know.
Yeah.
That's another thing, another goal that I want to do, but
Yeah.
I gotta probably pick one.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of goals, you know. You might never get to them, you might get to them. It's just are what they are.
Yep.
I mean, for me, it always is like that. Like, if I'm really... It's all about where I put my time, really, because it's, you know, I pick off like 30 things at once, and I'm like, well, let's do it.
Yep.
But we're getting there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You got anything else? Like, any other goals ahead of you?
I think I kind of all said most of my goals, really. I think while we're starting our own business, I think that's probably the next goal.
Yeah.
Get
Goals
that all,
within that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get that all straightened out and be reliant on that and getting some money underneath us, and then, you know, I'm getting older, so start putting for retirement
Yeah.
so that I can do all those fun things when I'm done working for what I want to be.
Yeah, that's true.
So I got family now, so those are things I gotta think about.
How does your career tie into like your lifestyle outside of that? Like, does it all affect anything?
I don't know. So, like with nursing, I picked nursing because I like to take care of people, but I also like that you work 3 days and then you're off the other 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not having to be at work 5 days a week behind a desk is nice. And then those 4 days that I have to myself, you know, me and the family can go do something like camping. We can go do outside things. I mean, we're not stuck.
Yeah.
So that part I like. And then switching to this other job, I still get to take care of people, still get to do what I want to do, and I get to be home with my family a little more.
Yeah.
So that's always another goal, is to be around my family as much as I could.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. It's good to look at your life as in, you want to, I don't know how that saying goes, you want to work to live, not live to work, you know? You're not just in your job. Like, your whole life isn't just a career or whatever, you know?
Yep.
You have your life here, and then you need to supply that life.
Yep.
Basically.
Yep, that's true. I
I
guess
think-
always another goal is to always be, you know, it's every year it's always a goal is just to be more of a godly man than what I've always ever been. So I mean, I met Jordan, and she kind of brought me back to that. But I mean, that's always a goal for me, is religion. But I guess those are the big things for me. Is I know it sounds a little cliche, but God, family, and the outdoors, like, you know, you see on other hunting shows. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
So those are what all my goals are kind of geared towards.
Yeah.
It's just that.
I don't see anything wrong with that. Those are some good goals, you know?
Yep.
What about, this is something we haven't really touched on, is what about, like, your favorite gear, favorite, like, things, places, I don't know, anything, like, things to wear, even for just, like, hunting or...
Well, favorite bow is a Hoyt, for sure. That company.
It's pretty high-end, isn't it?
They're pretty good. Like, I've only ever shot a few different bows, but that one so far has been the smoothest shooting that I've ever shot, and I was lucky enough to get one this year from Rick, and I'm blessed to have that thing. Love it. I would say I don't really have much other than that. I mean, clothing wise, I'm not real big into buying like a certain brand or anything.
Yeah, weren't you doing that lock scent stuff though?
I have the clothes, but I don't treat them how you should.
Okay.
So next year I'm gonna start doing it just to play around with it. Like I already have the clothing, like I have the pants and the coat, but I never you're supposed to dry them for an hour and then to activate the carbon that's in them. But I'd never done it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try it this year and we'll see if anything changes. Just to experiment with it.
Yeah.
Because I've only ever worn just jeans, and I've had like the Scent Lock laundry detergent, and I mean I noticed a difference when I was hunting on the private land when I was younger, and I think I was still in high school and I messed with it, and I did notice a big difference with just doing that. But this year I want to try this Scent Lock stuff.
Yeah.
And I still need to finish out the stuff. I still need like gloves and a hat and something else, But yeah, I'm going to mess around with that this year and see if it makes any kind of a difference.
Yeah, anything, I mean, everybody's looking for some way to give them an advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if it works.
I know a lot of people are into like Gore-Tex or like specific brands and things like that, but I'm not very picky. I don't know about you.
Yep. I mean, there's plenty of people that go out and do it in a red plaid shirt and still shoot deer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as long as you play the wind, I mean, you can't lose if you play the wind right. So
yeah, some people just get lucky.
Some people do get lucky.
Some people get unlucky. We were pretty unlucky. There was dozens of times that I was just out there like, why am I out here?
Yep.
It's freezing. Like, I actually had my beard froze. I don't know how. It must have been like the beard oil or somehow water.
You breathing on it.
Is that what that was?
Yep.
Me just breathing on it and...
Did it get right here?
Yeah, it's like all right here and it all froze.
Yep.
I'm like, my beard's freaking froze and like, that's how cold it was.
Yep. Yep, that's what happens. It's, I don't know, I miss my beard.
Yeah.
For that. So
I mean, this thing's getting wild. It's this big.
It is big.
Yeah.
It's nice though.
Yeah, it is. I'm waiting until it gets warmer out, We're stuck in Ohio and it's like -5 degrees now. This is like the coldest time of the year.
Yep. You should be in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, I'm keeping this thing on, but yeah. I definitely, I don't know. I would like to go hunting and fishing. We're going on vacation in June to Florida and definitely going to do some fishing there. But I'd love to do some hunting everywhere. Like, I definitely want to go down to Texas. There's tons of hunting and fishing down there. That'd be awesome. And the Gulf.
Yep.
Fishing down there would be sweet.
Yeah.
But
it's endless. Opportunities are everywhere.
yeah. You think you can talk about like hunting and fishing for like so long, but then we just talked about it. I guess we didn't get like super in depth. But
there's all kinds of things I can go into about it.
Usually my podcasts are like, they just keep going, but right now it's like, I don't know what else to talk about.
Yeah, well, I could talk about 100 things about hunting. I mean, I could just go on and on about it, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you really want to keep going in detail about all that.
Yeah.
Because it gets a little much after a while, then it gets confusing. And
what would be like besides elk, what would be like your favorite animals to even just see?
I think a moose would be pretty neat to see.
Yeah.
Just the big animals I think would be neat.
Yeah.
I'm not much into the like African stuff. I like more of the
cold
North
weather
American
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. What about fish? Would you want to like catch a shark or something? Have you caught a shark?
Yeah, I think we caught some when we were in the ocean somewhere.
Yeah.
With my parents, but we caught some.
Yeah.
Fishing, I don't really know. I want to catch a big muskie. I think that would be fun to do.
Yeah.
You could do that in Ohio.
We have some of the best places to do that, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Piedmont is like one of the best. I mean, I'm pretty sure in Ohio. I don't know what the statistics are though. Like,
Yeah, my dad's been looking into it pretty big. I think Salt Fork's got a good population too. So I mean, that's one thing that I want to catch is one of those. Maybe a big catfish. That would be fun.
What got you into all of the hunting and stuff? Like just your family growing up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I wanted to hunt so bad that when I took my hunter's ed class, I took it, you had to be in class for 8 hours. I was bawling my eyes out as a little kid, having to hand my test in because I thought I failed it.
Yeah.
And I was crying. I mean, literally tears running down my face because I thought I failed this test.
Yeah.
And it was like the biggest thing I wanted to ever do in my life.
It was like accomplishment. Like,
And it still is. Like, I
Wait.
still want to keep doing it. I'd like to do it every day if I could, but
I think Jordan made a joke the one time. She said, you were crying when you were like 6 years old because he passed, or he couldn't pass it or whatever, and he did. Were you like actually 6 years old? That's young.
I'm pretty sure I was 6.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe I was 9. I might have been 9.
Yeah.
But
dyslexic a little bit. You
maybe.
Flipped him up.
Yeah. I was pretty young.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's always been my dad.
Yeah.
Dad and grandpa.
That's good that you never got burnt out from it though, because I know like for me it was like football. Like I come from like this city is so big on football. Like you didn't get to experience it this year, but maybe next year when some of this COVID stuff hopefully is gone away. It's insane. Like this is football city, like where I'm from, and my family was like, here's what you're doing. You know, I grew up watching, and then as soon as I was like 6 years old, my thing was football. You know, I was playing flag football since I could remember. They actually, when you were born in the hospital that used to be here, they used to give kids football when they're born. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, well, all the boys, like,
Yeah.
I mean, they probably can't do that anymore. But
I was gonna say.
the hospital isn't there, but
Right.
they can't even do that anymore. But it's just that the whole town of Massillon is driven by football.
Yeah.
I mean, I would even go to say most of Canton, most of Northeast Ohio, but
Yeah.
Massillon specifically, that's like you're talking about people that are crazy about football. We showed up in record numbers in cities that, you know, couldn't even handle us. Like, isn't like we throughout the playoffs, you know, you get further and further away when you're playing out of your region and stuff. We were down in Columbus, full stadium. You know, that's insane. Like for anybody. Like the other team, they had like a quarter of the side. Our whole side's full fit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It is kind of how you were raised, I guess. I mean, where you were raised.
I mean, we have a parade that's bigger than our like we don't have a Christmas parade. We do have a Christmas parade. I don't know if we have a Thanksgiving, but we have a few parades throughout the year. But the Massillon-McKinley, our rivalry, the oldest rivalry in high school football, that one packed. Like, that's the only one anybody cares about around here.
Yeah. I hope they do all this next year because I do want to get involved in all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I had a tiger costume that my mom took me to the parades in when I was just a young kid, like I was 2 and 3 years old.
I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely have. I don't know. It's just like a whole different thing. I guess I can understand a little bit, but the whole point of it was I got burnt out a little bit from that, and it's just now I'm like I don't really want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still enjoy watching games and stuff, like, but it's not my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, goes back to what you said about how you have a goal, but once you reach that goal, like if it's one of those things you can't really go anywhere else, then what's the point of even doing it, really? I mean, you can do that, but then now you got to move on to something else. With hunting, for me, it's always been like every year is different. You can always set a different goal for yourself, and there's all different animals. You can do gun, bow, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really end.
Yeah.
I played video games before for a while, and I try to do the thing where, I'll bring it back, Call of Duty. Like, you always try to level up, have all your guns, have everything unlocked, and all the camos is what I remember. I want to get this camo, so I try to do that. So, but once you reach the end, then I got so bored. I don't even own a game console anymore.
I don't have a console either.
I lost it before I even came out of college, I think. So, and with hunting, I've been picking out different spots, different public land areas, and we'll hunt it. We'll break down this one this year. We'll hunt this whole one like we did this last year.
Yeah.
We'll find where the deer are, and then we'll break it down, and we'll hunt this little spot this year.
That's one thing I think you brought up a good point, though. There is, because you said football, you kind of just come to an end. You don't really do anything, or video games, you unlock everything and there's nothing more. I think there is definitely within those two things, there's ways to find other opportunities.
Absolutely.
But that really shows you if you're passionate about it. If you reach that end and you're like, yeah, I don't really that's not for me.
This isn't doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I also do get what you're saying about hunting. There really isn't an end. There's some things that there's not really an end to it, but there's a few opportunities within the other couple things that we discussed.
Yeah. And I mean, money also could play into it. If you got all the money in the world, you could easily quit hunting because you could shoot everything in a few years. But obviously, that's not the majority of people. So
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's why I always like
and time.
And time, yeah.
Yeah, that's big. And
just my big thing about it is just being outside, getting to do, be out there with friends, family, and experience all that, and seeing all the different wildlife, seeing how they are and how they interact and everything.
I don't think you would want, it would ruin it for you if you had money to do everything that you wanted to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't, yeah.
It would actually, all your goals are I don't know. They're things that may or may not be obtainable. And that gives you something to strive for. Mm-hmm. But if you had all the money, it's going to be gone.
Yep.
You're not going to have anything to strive for. What do you do next?
Yeah.
What do you do next? I mean, that's kind of what it is for me, too. I do something, and then I kind of just burn myself out of it. I was doing photography. That became a money thing too, though. It was way too much money for me right now, so I was we put it to the side a little bit for now. I don't need a $6,000 camera that I'm not going to be able to make the money off to keep it.
Yeah.
So, but if I did, I'd probably be burnt out too. But I kind of just I just need to take a break from it. But I tend to do that too. I tend to bounce around.
Do you know what you're passionate about yet?
No.
What really gets you?
No, I kind of just try new things, and that's really what it is. I like creating things. I like trying new things. That's what I'm passionate about, I guess.
Yeah.
I haven't found one specific thing, but I definitely like trying new things.
Yeah. So you think with hunting, do you think it's going to be something that you do for life now? Or is it going to be something that...
I definitely think it could be. But I don't know that I always be into it the same way that I am now.
Yeah.
I mean, I might go a while with all I do is just hunt for the year, try to get my deer, whatever. But I don't know that I feel like I'd probably have a good 4 or 5 years that I'll be, real into it.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably take a break in between there.
Yeah.
Who knows? But
yeah.
I feel like that's how I am with some things. I'm like, oh, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do. And then I'm just like, okay, let's just take a step back.
Yeah.
I still get to do a little bit of photography and a little bit of stuff on my computer with it and things like that. But I never really push things completely out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you get to add all the family into the mix.
Yeah.
And all that. Also is going to take some time away. And I don't know.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff you can do with it.
Yeah. That's good with anything, really.
Yep. Absolutely.
Got anything else?
I'm trying to think.
I mean,
What are your can you describe the feeling that you had after you shot your deer? Like what was do you remember even? A lot of people just black out.
I mean, right after, alright, so I guess we'll have to tell the story. I was in the tree and saw the deer coming down the hill. It's coming. And I thought it was a doe, honestly, at first. I looked over and I picked up my bow. You know, before this I hadn't even seen, I think we saw one deer, but I'm not even sure that I saw it, you saw it. But I was, you know, being quiet because hey, there's a deer. Okay. I had no idea, I'd never seen anything. So this deer's coming and my uncle's like, get up.
Yeah.
And he's calling it in and I stood up and I'm like, alright, if it goes right there. Sure enough, it went right there. I just, like, all the things that I was supposed to remember of where to put my hand and where to pull and how to hold it and everything, gone. Like, my legs were shaking and I'm just like, if it goes right there, and I'm like trying to hold it on there, legs keep shaking. I'm like, alright. I finally got like a little touch of, you know, that stable, that stable, steady feeling, and I was like, yep. And it was like all the timing just went, and it was right there. And then took off and I watched it run up a hill like 20, 30 yards and it just dropped over. So I wasn't worried about, because the one before that, you know, it just kept running. It wasn't a good hit. But that one, there was no question that it was dead or not, you know. It fell right over. But I was just like, I don't know. It was like every feeling that you could get, you know. It's another creature, it's an animal, it's another being that just died. So you have to respect that. And you feel that part. But then on another side, you're like, yes. Like, all that hard work I put in, everything that I've been doing, I listened to everything. In that moment, I did everything I could in order to take that down. And that was the biggest reward that you can feel. So it's like accomplishment, you know, you got your respect and you're happy, of course. I mean, your excitement, that's out of it. Your adrenaline's going, you know. That's why my legs were shaking. It's just everything at once. Really.
It's almost like a drug, that feeling is. And I think that's a lot of times why I like it too. Because you get that feeling, and it gets hard to climb back down the tree. You're afraid you're gonna fall out of the tree because you're still shaking the whole way down.
And I'm trying to get down there as fast as I can too.
Then you want to scream and yell, but you know you really shouldn't. And I think the day that I will stop hunting is the day that feeling goes away from me. Once I lose that feeling, I think I'll stop.
Why?
It's not. I mean, I'll still do it for food, but it's not like it's. I won't spend every waking minute thinking about it, or on my phone looking up where to go next. Like,
do you think you'll ever lose that feeling?
I don't know.
You know, I think some people do. Some people definitely lose a little bit of passion. You know, I've talked to a lot of older guys. They're, you know, still passionate, but there's some people that are just, you know, they go to their same spot, and you know, that seems to be like a trend. I mean, that's also because they've worked all them years to be able to get a spot, and they've lived all that life, and you know, they're old. Their bodies aren't working the same, and they can't climb up all the stands and you know, pull themselves up the trees, or they don't want to use a bow because they don't have the strength to pull it or whatever. But so now they're gun hunting, or they're with crossbow, or whatever, and they must still have something. You know, something still tells them, I want to wake up at 5 a.m. and go out here and throw all this stuff on.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing. I've always struggled with waking up early.
But with hunting?
I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm up before my alarm goes off, and I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, you always have those days you're like,
I should just go back to sleep.
yeah, don't want to get up.
Yep, that's true. And you're gonna hate me for saying this, but even next year, I think, like, I want to get up even earlier to get out to some of those spots.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we walked into at least I know I did a few times, went into the spot that we hunt and I blew deer out of it. And it's just because they beat me there. And so,
I mean, also some of that could be they're feeding there, and we just didn't know.
Yep, I'm sure they were.
We definitely got to do like pre-work.
Yeah.
We scouting.
Yep. Yeah. We didn't know there were all those oak trees in there, and sure enough, that's what they were eating.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of oak trees in there because we never really walked that. I mean, I walked it once, and I blew deer out of it when I was walking in, so I just backed out. I never got all the way down in there to see it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we thought they were just going to be eaten out in that cornfield, and the acorns that were up on top of that, not down in that gully that we were hunting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things that we're going to change next year.
Yeah.
And then we'll put a whole lot more boots on the ground and looking around and walking.
That's what I'm getting prepared for, you know.
That'll all happen once the snow's off. We'll go looking for some sheds. And
you gonna be able to do the Appalachian Trail with me someday?
maybe if I can bring along some kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a rough one. I don't know if I'll ever even be able to do it. Like, I know physically I could be able to, but I'd have to put a lot of time into it. But time.
Would you want to do it in one whole trip? Like, would you want to walk the whole trail not one day, it has one trip?
Yeah. I definitely, for me, I feel like if you don't do it in one trip, it's kind of like you're giving up on like, I don't know. It would be cool to do it in multiple trips, yes, but I feel like doing it all in one.
If you're gonna do it,
that's a memorable trip. That's like, yeah.
I gotcha.
That's where I feel like running and hiking and all these things are gonna eventually take me into doing some cool stuff like that. Like, I would love to walk through the Grand Canyon and adventure out. Like, that's all everything is for, I guess.
Yep.
Like learning how to hunt, you know. That's a survival skill that I may need if I go on an adventure and, you know, I'm in Canada and in the middle, you know, wherever. I need food or I need to defend myself from something.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Learning some skills. So those skills are carried throughout different aspects of life. Like, even if you're like, hey, I'm not the type of person to be going out in these wilderness areas, even just protection in your home and knowing how to do this and that, you know, that's going to be able to help you in some aspect. Yeah, I talked about that a lot on my podcast I had yesterday that I did, but it's definitely going to be, I don't know why I said yesterday, because it's not, I did do it yesterday, but
it's not gonna,
but there's no way I'm putting these out like
back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was talking about like gun safety, you know, and like how they're changing gun laws and stuff, and it's, I don't know, scary. But you definitely need to know how to protect yourself, I think.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't matter who from.
Yep.
In different ways.
Yeah. Well, it's a little scary knowing that, you know, it's hard to find ammo anywhere nowadays.
Yeah.
Today, every time I work at one hospital in Shelby. Every time I'm there, I stop at the Sportsman's Den and I get some 9mm ammo because, you know, they're the only place that I've really found that had it, other than Fin Feather. They had some today, so I bought some there too.
Yeah.
But you can only buy one box a week.
That's one skill. If you know how to make your own, make your own.
That's another thing. Yep.
There's so many with everything, you know. You could probably, you said that guy made his own arrowheads, you know.
Yeah.
Make your own ammo for your gun. Probably there's people that make their own guns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm sure.
I mean, I
If you
know
had all
there's
the
like
tools.
I know there's like builds, but I'm talking like actually make your own gun.
Yeah.
That's a different skill.
Yeah. That's a skill you need some tools for or something.
A lot of knowledge.
And a lot of knowledge, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Looking forward to some future podcasts and stuff though. I'm looking forward to getting into hunting season, you know. I'll probably throw up some videos of hunting. Might as well.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. But it's an adventure every time.
It sure is. We'll get out. We'll put some videos together. It could be fun.
Yeah.
And if you get together with those other guys that are going to be putting out videos,
Yeah.
learn from them,
Yeah.
help them out, even get together and make it one thing.
Yeah. It could turn into anything.
Yeah.
But
There's a couple groups that, I mean, they hunt different states and everything, but they all have one channel and they all put them all together.
yeah.
So they make like basically a hunting show out of that. So
Yeah.
you could do it. Possibilities are endless.
Yeah. I haven't got much more to say. Do you? I think that's good.
Andrew?